I was by myself,
Right.
and the issues I would have with my hair, or I was made fun of because my braids wouldn't fit into the cap, and I didn't have no one to help me understand that, So I was just wanted to somehow be that beacon of light uh, for any other child who's choosing to swim competitively or who just wants to enjoy swimming.
Right.
Like, it's okay, and I'm here, and here's a few tips and tricks and how to jump over the hurdles that are in front of you right now.
What a world. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the COSIGN Conversations podcast. I'm your host, KG. COSIGN Conversations podcast, we interview amazing entrepreneurs, creatives, executives, influencers that we co-sign so that our audience gets to discover them. Today, we have a super special guest. We have a multifaceted entrepreneur and artist. We have Kat. She's the CEO, founder of Big Wave Swim Academy. So before I even get into it, for those immediately who need, CPR, who wants to get certified to be a CPR instructor, or wants to learn how to swim, wants to learn how to swim, wants to learn how to swim, please see Kat, because I have a couple friends who are grown men, and they never want to go anywhere with me because they can't swim in the summer. So we are here with Kat. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for coming today. I'm really excited and interested in talking to you about this because we don't talk about swimming and the stereotype behind minorities swimming in our culture. We just assume that, hey, I can't swim, I can't swim, right?
Yes.
So when I was a kid, another stereotype is when I was a kid, my uncle taught me how to swim. But he did like the old school way. He just threw me
Threw
in the
you in.
water.
Yeah.
you
I
know,
know.
it was fight or flight, right? So that's all I knew. So when my daughter turned 8 and said she couldn't swim, I'm like, okay, we gotta do something. My neighbor had a pool party, and I just kind of threw her in there with floaties. She did good. I took the floaties off, threw her in there again. She started paddling until I saw her go under a little bit. Then I'm like, okay, let me help you out. But before we get into this, why is this important to you? Why did you want to start a business around swimming?
I'm gonna go ahead and shout out my grandma because she's the one who put me in swim lessons every summer, no
Mm,
matter what. And then as soon as I got into high school, I started swimming competitively. And then
okay.
I went to the University of Hawaii at Manoa and swam for a little bit, but I realized I didn't really like competitive swimming.
Okay.
But when I was 16, I started swimming. I started working as a lifeguard and teaching swim lessons ever since I was 16.
Oh wow.
So this has been for a while. But I noticed one day I was working, and this couple, this father and daughter, came up to me, and he asked a request for me. He's asking me to talk to his daughter and let her know that she's allowed to come in the pool. And I
Mm,
was like, why do you think you're not allowed to come in the pool?
right.
And she didn't say it, but he had to speak for her because she was timid and shy. But he was saying that because she didn't see anyone else of her skin color at the pool, and they came specifically to me because I
Mm,
was the only black girl on duty and also at the pool. And I took a step back and I looked at the pool and the water, and I was like, oh, yeah, now you notice. See, now I notice it. Yeah, it's
right.
not a lot of us here. And then also, I was a swim team. I could probably five when I started my freshman year, and when I got to my senior year, it was only me on the swim team
Mm,
that was someone of color. So I just became passionate because I was by myself,
right.
and the issues I would have with my hair, or I was made fun of because my braids wouldn't fit into the cap, and I didn't have no one to help me understand that, So I was just wanted to somehow be that beacon of light uh, for any other child who's choosing to swim competitively or who just wants to enjoy swimming.
Right.
Like, it's okay, and I'm here, and here's a few tips and tricks and how to jump over the hurdles that are in front of you right now.
Man, so much to unpack there. I'm gonna touch on some of those right now. So for one, it is a bit disturbing, and even as adults, we joke about it. Like we'll go to day parties or pool parties, and people sometimes don't go to pool parties. They know, oh, we're not gonna get in the pool. Like we don't get in the water,
Hmm.
and it's like it really shouldn't be like that because a lot of us, for those of us who can swim, or even like at these pools, they're not really deep. But I don't know what it is about people of color not wanting to get into the pool. I don't know if that was something like drained into our head as a youth, but it's like, what do you have to say about people like when they go to a party, even though it's like a social thing, but like
Mhm.
why is it that we don't even get into the pools at events? Like,
I also stress too that we learn from our parents.
right.
So we're watching our parents. If our parents are not wanting to get in the pool, we don't get in the pool. And I always tell everyone when I tell people about my swim lessons, I'm giving you a historical lesson too,
Mhm.
because the reason why, just like everything else in America, the reason why we don't swim or there's a stereotype that Black people don't swim is because of slavery and Jim Crow laws. Back in the day, obviously our ancestors were great swimmers until we were taken from our land and we came here, and learning how to swim was another form to our slave masters, to that it was another form of escape. So they put things into our head like they're monsters in the water and stuff, so we wouldn't want to get in the pool and swim away. So that started there. Jim Crow laws started. Recreational pools became popular in the early 1900s, and um, yeah, it just became popular in the early 1900s. And obviously, white people didn't want Black people to enjoy the same things that they had.
Right.
So they made up lies that if you get in a pool with a Black person, you'll catch an STD.
Oh wow.
Yes. So, and then eventually they made separate pools for Black people, but eventually
Yeah.
that went away.
Mhm.
And because of that, that's the reasons why we don't know how to swim today. And we just was like, forget
Yeah, we're never
it.
gonna learn. So you went to high school in Hawaii. So for us, like in the South, like Texas, like a lot of our high schools don't have swimming programs, right? So I can't go to high school and say, "Oh, I want to be on the swim team." And there's like a lot of high schools like that. So that's another deterrence as well. Is you don't see a lot of us in these sports because the schools we go to don't have access to them, and by the time we get to college, it's kind of too late. You need to be a professional at it by then,
Yes.
so that way you can get a scholarship, etc. And it's multiple sports that our white counterparts strive at that hasn't been popular for people of color to participate in. But do you believe like swimming and especially swimming in school as a sport, competitive swimming, as you say, should be like all across the board in every high school?
Yes, I strongly do believe that because
Mm,
again, it just opens up more career opportunities for kids.
right.
Again, I've been working with nonprofits so far up until now that cater to the younger teens and everything, and teach them, getting them CPR certified, and that just helps them to prepare for careers such as fitness trainer or
Right.
wanting to be a nurse, dentistry, things that require CPR training, get them interested into doing that. Once they take that first step, they want to take it all the way.
Right.
It's up to us to bring that to them because our school systems are lacking these days
Hmm.
in teaching the kids certain things. So I just feel like we just need to take the certain step in
Right.
teaching them how to do these things.
Mhm. I want to kind of go back to where you talked about when you were in high school and your braids wouldn't fit under your cap, and like kind of how you felt at that moment. Like I'm pretty sure moments like that resonate with you for like through your whole entire life.
Hmm.
Like at that moment, what were like some deciding factors for you after that kind of led you to take the career where you're at right now?
Um, Deciding factors like after like being taunted, other than being taunted, or
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd be talented. Like we realizing, like you don't want to make sure anybody else goes through the same thing, or
yeah.
like any other things that kind of came up to you to like that sticks with you to this day, and you're like, man, because of like some of those moments, this is why I do what I do.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, just basically people saying the most outlandish stuff. I didn't just swim in Hawaii, I did swim in Texas. And when I did swim in Texas, I would have comments said to me. It's just different comments,
Right,
such as, oh, for a Black girl, she could swim well.
right,
My swim coach telling me I looking like Squidward or something because of
mm.
my swim cap. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I laughed at this one too when he said this one, but he was like, "You look like a piece of dookie in the water, floating in the water." So I was like, "Okay, cool." So
Messed up but funny, right?
I'm not gonna lie, that was a good one, bro. Good
Yeah.
job. But just small things like that, like I said, and just noticing when I'm at the pool, the issues that I'm having, hair issues, skin problems,
Hmm.
no one else is having that, and they're downplaying it, and they're just like, "That's just
Hmm.
you." And then it didn't take till I graduated high school and I finally realized, I was like, okay, everyone else deals with this. Why did
Right.
I grow up thinking that this is only me?
Mm.
It's not that. It's not like that.
Another factor that plays into role is too, like, that people think about is black women are really strict about their hair. So going to high school, getting your hair wet, I'm pretty sure it takes y'all a while to fix that. So that's
Yeah.
another reason. And I think about the same thing with the events. Like, women put so much into their appearance and their hair. They go to these events. Oh, I can't get my hair wet. That's probably why they don't get into the pool, because then it'll kind of like throw off the whole vibe aesthetic. So I definitely understand, but I feel like now at the time that we're at, we should be able to accept people as they are, however their hair is. Every time,
Yeah.
they're more about like the experience, having a good time. They're more so like the outward appearance. So,
Yeah, I feel like we're getting better at like embracing our natural hair. So now a
Right.
lot of girls are like wearing braids or like wigs,
Mhm.
and they can just jump in the pool. So
Got you. So, with all that being said, you decided to become. So, what were like the steps that took you to open your own business? Like, you had to get your, I mean, of course, your certification first, become an instructor, and then you were like, I kind of want to make sure nobody goes through this again. So, I'm going to teach swimming lessons. Or like, how does that work as a business model for you?
I'm just winging it. I'm just doing it. Dead ass. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cuss.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm honestly just doing it. I'm taking a day at a time. I
Mhm.
have huge plans. Like, if
Yeah.
I told you the idea that's in my head, you're gonna be like, "Whoa, there, buddy,
That's
slow down."
awesome.
But
I'm gonna tell you keep going.
but I just really take it a day at a time. Like I said, I shout out to my grandma because I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for her and her pushing. Because there's so many times I wanted to drop out of swimming, and I was
For
like, I don't want to do this anymore. She's like, no, you're gonna
Yeah.
do this. You're not a quitter.
Right.
All that
That's
stuff.
dope.
But if it wasn't for her putting me in swimming from a very young age and making me do that, and then as soon as I was 16, she made me work as a lifeguard. And I stick with that, and I started teaching swim lessons, and then I started teaching, certifying people CPR. I looked into the certification myself. I just took interest. I just wanted to find out. I always tell people to utilize TikTok in a good way because
Okay.
TikTok can be used educationally. Everything I learned.
Yeah, what you learn from TikTok?
How to business credit. I didn't know nothing about credit. People my age don't know nothing about.
How old are you, from asking?
I'm 22.
Oh, young buck.
I'm old at heart.
Hey, I
Man.
feel you. Old soul.
But yeah, no, I didn't know nothing about business credit or credit. When anytime someone my age, when we talk about credit, we're scared. We don't know
Yeah.
nothing about that. We don't want to be in debt. We just trying to live.
Right.
But knowledge is power.
For sure.
So when I took the time to use TikTok, I don't know what made me just type in explain credit on TikTok.
Right.
And I found a whole bunch of videos explaining what credit is, APR, all that stuff,
yeah.
interest rates, when to pay your credit, when not to use it. There's a window where you pay it,
For
but
sure.
don't use it until this date.
Mhm.
So, knowledge is power. I just love that. I always tell people use TikTok for good. Use
Hashtag
good.
TikTok taught me. No, that's amazing. If you don't mind me asking, how much is it to get like your CPR certification? Because I feel like at least that's one thing that I feel like anybody can take advantage of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you never know. Like, we all have parents, grandparents. There's accidents. You never know when something's gonna happen. So like, I feel like at least one person in every household should be CPR certified.
Yes.
What's that process like? How much does it cost?
Really just my website right now is going under construction right now, but it should be up by the end of January.
Okay.
But you'll go on there. It should be a page where you request a class.
Okay.
Or and then we'll talk through email. I accept going to people's homes or offices.
Okay.
Or you can come to my location, whichever one is beneficial for you. And we'll talk about exactly if you want CPR, first aid, AED, BLS training, which one do you want to combo? Do you want to put some together, or do you want just first aid?
Different options.
Yeah.
What's BLS training too as well? I'm sorry.
Basic life support.
Okay, got you.
I know how I think about that. But BLS is mostly a gateway towards, EMT.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
another career profession.
good for the kids as well.
Okay.
But we'll talk there. And right now I'm provider with American Red Cross. I'm partnered with American Red
Okay.
Cross. Not gonna lie, they went up on their prices this
Well,
year.
that's all good. Everything's going up inflation.
Yes, struggle out here. It's so hard out here for a pimp for real. um,
Same.
but the base, I really don't want. I hate to charge so much, but again, each person,
You're a
American,
business owner. It's
yeah,
okay.
American Red Cross, they want me to pay them $33 per person to certify.
Okay.
So it's not. It's going to be a minimum of like 150 to 200
Gotcha.
for classes,
No, for
depending on
sure.
how many people.
No, that makes sense. And this is kind of off topic, but as a business owner, talk to another business owner, never be afraid to to charge for your services, because you've been swimming majority of your life, right? You dedicated the time, energy, investing in yourself to become CPR certified. You study this, you learn, so you're an expert at this, right?
Mhm.
And for those who want to take advantage of your services, utilize your services, there's fees that come with that. So never be shy or timid to to charge people. Your price is your price. You know your worth. So I just want to give you that tip. But now that you told me you're 22, I can feel like I could drop some. I could drop some gems on this life that I've lived. But I kind of want to. I don't want to go dark, but I kind of want to ask this, because since this is kind of like a conversation, and you've been in the aquatics field for a while, have you seen something that like traumatized you, like somebody drowning, a near death life experience? I mean, life death experience. Anything that kind of that traumatized you in this field, but you've been able to like really learn from it.
Baby, nobody drowned on my
Here we
watch.
go.
Nobody drowns on my watch, so I haven't had nothing like that happen.
Any scares or anything?
Only thing I just be feeling sad about and it's dark is that just the drownings that be happening in Dallas. It's
Mm,
not really advertised that much, but you'll see it once in a while. But there's been a few drownings last year,
oh
especially
wow.
like small black children.
In pools,
Yeah, and pool. It'll say I have a little chart on my website. I want to bring it into my rebranding and everything so people can understand how serious this is.
right.
It'll be pools, tubs, like you're just giving them a bath, you leave for a second, come
Mm,
back, they're gone. Um, Even water parks, because we yell at kids, lifeguards, we yell don't run, we
yeah.
yell don't run for a reason. So we have there's a lot of death rates where children are running and they fall and bust their head.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that happens. I just hate seeing stories like that, and it makes me so sad. And there's one, I can't remember the little boy's name. I believe his first name was Isaac, little small child. He was doing a swim lesson with this lady, this white lady, and I know one mistake she did was she tried to do over like 10 kids in one lesson.
Can't
You
can't
can't take,
focus on
you
all.
can't watch all them kids at once. And the mother, she left, she went to the car, and then she comes back, her child's out of the water, like not breathing. And the woman didn't know what happened. She went down and scooted down to the deep end while she was trying to teach somebody else. And he was just gone. He was so young, probably like,
Mm,
I want to say four,
that's a,
5. And it was so sad. I read that story and I was like,
mm. So for like parents who who are watching and want to get this for their kids, what would you say is like a safe number that instructors should have around when they're teaching?
5.
5 and max.
Yeah, if they got more than 5, there needs to be someone else out of the water
Mm,
watching, like someone scanning at all times. It can't just be one person
right.
doing that.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. Dang, that's unfortunate. That's sad to hear. Um, is like do trainers also have to have like some type of insurance?
Yeah, you're supposed to. I use an insurance called Thimble.
Okay.
But if you don't have insurance, y'all can attack us for everything. We got personal wise.
Mm, yeah.
So
That's what I'm asking, as a business model. Like, I feel like something like that, which is like not high risk, but there's some risk involved.
yeah,
You'd want to have some type of insurance to protect your business, because just like you said, if something happens on your watch, that parent is going to come to you to
yes.
sue for you because they hired you for a job. But like if you have a business, they could let you sue your business, but your business has insurance, so that way you're covered. And
Hmm.
of course, you don't want to be in those situations, but it's just also as business owners, it's always to protect yourself no matter which field you're
Yeah.
in.
No, that's the number one thing. I used to work for the city of Dallas, and sometimes I keep in touch with my supervisors. I like to make genuine connections, so I let one of them know, like, hey, I'm gonna start my own swim lessons, and number one, first thing she told me is insurance.
Hmm.
You don't want to get attacked.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I know back on the back end we talked, did some discussions. Are there some stats that you know off your head that you could share with our audience, right? When it comes to people of color swimming, some stats that kind of stick out to you, like man, this is alarming, this is disturbing, and you really want your community to know.
Yeah, I suck at numbers. I really do apologize. That's why I failed at math. I'm sorry. I just remember that the likelihood of a black child swimming, um, drowning, uh, besides his white counterparts, it's like a 6.3. I might be wrong, 6.3%, probably more than that.
Hmm.
Chance that they'll drown.
Higher than the white counterparts.
Yes.
Mm. Yeah, I feel like in our communities we have to like invest more into those type of experience. Like I know there's community centers that people try to push, but even like I said in our schools, I feel like swimming should be like a mandatory thing. Like swim lessons should be a mandatory thing. Have you tried partnering with schools, the ISD?
Yeah, I tried.
What was their
um,
pushback? Or I feel like you got some pushback from the tone of your voice.
yeah, I did. The principal was it was a North Mesquite High School.
Okay.
The principal was really interested in wanting to do something, but I wanted to teach the kids CPR lessons if possible. But apparently the district was like, if we got the nurses CPR certified, so if we teach the kids, we'll use the nurses. And it's
Mm,
like, but are y'all doing it now? Is that y'all's number one priority? That's my number one
right.
priority. Is to, so they can have some career opportunities and be interested in something and feel like they've accomplished something and
Mm,
have something to their name. But they were like, no. And I was sad a little bit because my boyfriend, he actually called me a week ago and he said he has a kid that goes to Thompson elementary school, and he was telling me how there was one of the teachers' daughters
mhm,
was teaching the kids in the second grade, swim lessons, and I have to sit back and I'll be like, I feel like I try everything I can to get out there and connect with people and to like show people I'm passionate, and I just feel like seeing someone else, it was
mhm.
like, dang.
Yeah. But there's still opportunities. So like, probably went to one school. You probably got to go higher than them. Go to
Yeah.
like the district, create like a proposal. There might be like a RFP, request for proposal, that you could submit for that. Go over some people's heads sometimes. Like, man, I feel the same way. I've tried something. People say no, and then I see them later on, somebody else doing it. I'm like, it was a no, or y'all just ain't want me.
Yeah, that's why I just feel like,
You know?
and I don't ever want it to always be a race thing, but
Right.
it was a, white lady, and I was
Right.
like,
Yeah, but you're taking the right steps. Like, the more people see your business, the more you're vocal about it, you're going to get support from the community regardless, and they're going to help you get into those doors. It really is a who you know thing, right?
mm-hmm,
So if I were you, I would focus more on building your community, telling your story more, sharing the messaging. Like the messaging behind what you do and why you do it is going to be so important to our community. And just like you said, we want to learn from people who look like us, who has experienced what we've been through, right? A lot of times when you do go to these rec centers or learn how to swim or CPR, it is from like a white counterpart, which some are our allies. Nothing wrong with that, but someone like yourself who's built a business just around this, helping people in this space, in this field, and it's very niche, right? You're not going to see hundreds of people doing what you're doing like you
yeah,
see 100 content creators, 100 real estate developers, 100 bartenders. So it's like you're in such an niche space that once you like own this space and people see you as experts, your business is gonna like catapult.
so yeah, it's a patience thing. We just
Wow.
take it. That's why I always say, take it a day at a time. That's just my motto.
Day at a time, day at a time. But I will ask this too. Like I'm trying, like I'm doing more outreach, right? So I'm doing like, I'm trying to do 20 and I'm upgraded to 50. So like, I don't know how often you do it, but maybe try pitching your services to other schools, other organizations, maybe 5 to 10 times a day till you get comfortable with that.
hmm
One thing I saw on a podcast was I recently posted on my stories was to get comfortable in the no's, right? Like we hate rejection so much, and it
Mm-hmm.
fears us that when we hear a no, we tense up, and then we're like, okay, I'm done for the day. I got a no, right? But he was saying, I want 100 no's. I want so many no's that it's too easy. It's comfortable, and then that way I have repetitiveness of doing it over and over. I get comfortable with it, right? Because he said when then by the time you finally get a yes, it's like okay, so yeah, but I want more no's.
Yes.
You know, the more no's you're gonna get, the more yes you're gonna get. So he was like, man, live in those no's, and that's something I'm really taking with me this year. For somebody who's introverted and extroverted, is
Mm-hmm.
like, man, don't be afraid of those no's. Like, live in it. Ask them, okay, why not right now, or why not at all, or should I reach back next month, or what in my pitch turns you off? That way, you can learn and get better, and have feedback for the next person you pitch to.
Yeah, no, that's one of my number one hurdles. A lot of people, fantasize about entrepreneurship and they see the finished product,
Mm-hmm.
but the process is getting over your anxiety if you're an introvert
Mm-hmm.
and taking the steps, big steps, and keep trying, even
Nah,
though it's a no. Like you said, a no. It might one of them will be yes.
for sure.
More no's will equal more yeses.
For sure. So, what's been the highlight of your career so far as an instructor and
I won a grant from Manifest Your Purpose.
okay? Shout out to
Yes.
Soraya.
I love you, Soraya. But yeah, and it made me feel like, oh, someone believes in what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Okay, someone likes this. Cool.
that's
People
what's
like
up.
this. And ever since I got I've been reached out to by some nonprofits, small
Okay.
nonprofits. They, like I said, I work with them to teach the little girls how to swim, and it's made me form connections that
That's awesome.
I never thought I would form and have been beneficial to me swim wise and also as a tattoo artist.
People need tattoos as well.
Yeah.
That's what's up. What is like one of your lofty goals? I know you said you had some big ideas. Just kind of tell us one. Some of them I want you to keep inside. But tell us one lofty goal that you want to see from your business.
um, I want this to be huge. I want this to be a huge community thing.
Mm,
I see this. I also see the water as a healing agent as well. So I
okay.
do want this to be. I do want to offer one day water therapy for the
Mm,
geriatric. So because it's good for them to heal, especially people who can't walk and they're having to train their muscles again to walk again. The water is perfect for that. I want to start a hair care line, swim hair care line for black
mm.
girls. So base some protective shampoo, something when you go into chlorine, because the chlorine will burn. I'm not gonna lie,
Nah,
chlorine will be messing up your hair.
dang.
That's one. That's two of them. Um, Dang, I feel like I'm missing something else right now. Oh, I do want to start a swimsuit line.
I
It's
was
a
about to
lot.
say you gotta have that swimsuit line. Swimsuit, swim two pieces, one piece, some swim trunks for the guys.
That's
Some,
what I'm thinking. I see y'all all wearing my swimsuits. I'm like, look at
mm,
you, looking cute. Okay.
yeah, that's something you can start now. And I like the name Big Wave Swimmer Cat. Like, you do something around these waves.
I think of a big wave of change. That's what I say a lot.
Okay, that's what's up.
So, but that's one of the things. Like I said, it's levels to it. Let's get to the
Mm.
swim lessons first. But one day, one day.
I know you said that grant that Soraya Manifest Your Purpose gave you was very impactful. We are called cosign, so we kind of want to ask you too, like who or what was like maybe like a major cosign for you that helped you in your business so far. Like it could be somebody who shared your information. It could be maybe one of your first clients. But like, what would you say is like been one of the cosigns that kind of helped your business?
Um, One is called Jasmine Holmes.
Okay.
She's the owner of DFW Black Moms Walking,
Okay.
so entrepreneur moms walking, and they usually get together and walk, or they have events themselves. But she's been very helpful in connecting me with, again, nonprofits, connecting me with other people. If
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't for her, like again, I wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
taught the girls that I have so far. And again, she's used me outside of swim lessons, like tattoos as well.
Gotcha.
But she's been a huge help and a huge blessing, because if it wasn't for her helping me and pushing me a little bit, I feel I probably would have kind of slowed down on
Mm-hmm.
everything and would have felt like all this is kind of worth
Right.
nothing, or I'm not getting anything out of this, or no one's not interested in what I'm doing.
So shout out to Jasmine for the cosign. It's important. It's needed. Last but not least, what do you want to tell, your 16-year-old self or a 16-year-old girl who who went through what you went through, or maybe who wants to learn how to swim or wants to go in a career of EMT and help people, like what would you tell that 16-year-old girl or guy?
You said I can cuss, right?
Yeah, of course.
Fuck them. Just ball out, baby. No,
Yeah.
it does not matter. Whatever they saying, keep going. You'll
Mm.
be okay. Once you graduate high school, it's up from there.
No, that's love, and I mean sometimes that's really what you got to say. Like I've had to say it multiple times in my career, like, oh, they want to rock with me.
No, for real.
Yeah.
My peers, when they wasn't believing in me and thought I was like, you really
Mm,
nobody. I was like, say less. I'm gonna show
yeah.
you nobody for real.
Did you see yourself like when you were young? I mean, you are young, but do you see yourself when you were like 16 in the position you are now?
Oh no. I
Mm,
really thought I wanted to be a marine biologist, but again, that dealt with a whole bunch of math, so I really didn't know what I
mm-hmm.
was gonna do at
Gotcha.
this age. I don't know.
Well, Kat, before we head out, I want you to leave us two things. One, give us either your favorite quote or a piece of motivational advice. And then on the way out, kind of get them where people can like sign up for swim lessons, give them the Instagram handle. I know you said your website is it's under reconstruction, but go ahead and give us that anyway. So that way, when they do circle back, they'll have that website and where they can find you and follow you at.
Dang, quote. I have a whole bunch of quotes, but I can't.
Or just share some advice then.
Um, the only advice I say is it's better to try. You know, don't stop for someone to give you the answer. Find the answer yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do it yourself. The answer is right there in front of you, especially on the tools that we use on an everyday basis. Use the tools for good, not evil. um, you can obviously find me on Instagram. It's bws.academy. And my website is Big Wave Swim Academy. That's pretty much all the socials I have for that.
Man, um, I am KG, your host of COSIGN Conversations podcast. We are here with Kat of Big Wave Swim Academy, 22-year-old entrepreneur. Please support not only from swimming lessons for yourself or for your kids, your family member, cousins, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, whoever, but also I truly believe that every household should have one person who's CPR certified because you never know what's going to happen, right? So let's make sure that we're taking care of our household, our family, and friends. So please support we at COSIGN Big Wave Swim Academy. So head over there, follow them, subscribe, like, comment, share, and make sure you tune into the next time. Until then, y'all take it easy.